Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, the daily show. And today we're going to look at the warning bearish engulfing candle on the weekly time frame for Nvidia. We're going to talk about what that means for Nvidia and the entire market. So, of course, we'll look at the SPY, we'll look at Bitcoin, and we'll look at EOSE. If you took that trade yesterday, you'll be up on that trade, and we're going to give an update on that as well, and a whole bunch more. Before we do that, smash the like button. This does help get this channel out to more people. And of course, thank you for all of you who have been flooding the comment section before those nasty spam bots can get there. I appreciate you. And of course, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Hit that subscribe button, smash that bell notification, and you will get those daily updates. So first of all, we're going to jump into just what we're talking about with Nvidia as far as even before we actually get to the charts. This here, of course, isn't bullish for Nvidia. Nothing's bullish when SoftBank announces that it sold its entire stake in Nvidia for 5.8 billion. Now they've sold Nvidia before. As you can see here, SoftBank sold its stake in 2019 for 3.3 billion, and that stake would be worth 200 billion. And so this user says, I guess some lessons are just too costly to ever really learn. Regardless of that, they have sold and they're out and they've taken profits there. Maybe they see something in the market, maybe they need to require the money. Either way, this could be seen as fairly bearish there. Of course, not in the long term, I don't think there, because that was 6 years ago. They sold a long time ago, but maybe in the longer run, if Nvidia gets to $300, $400, $500, they'll be looking back on that thinking maybe that wasn't so smart. However, if we look here, the shocking stat of the day, Nvidia reflects a record 8.5% of the S&P 500 there. And you can just read through, I'll give you a moment just to read through this information here. And why is that concerning is because if there is some kind of larger or significant pullback, remember, Nvidia has earnings soon coming up. And if there is some kind of miss on earnings or forward guidance isn't great and there is a larger pullback, that is going to affect the S&P 500, and then that could lead to other people panic selling if they see that S&P 500 pulling back. So that's why it's extremely important. And I have covered about the Hindenburg omen. If you're new to the channel, I shared this about a week ago. I'll keep it in sight for any new people who may be coming along. But it's triggered 3 times. The past 30 times, the S&P 500 fell 83% of the time 2 months later. And so there is a possibility or potentially that plays out. That would be fairly bearish. And of course, for Bitcoin, we had the bull score index fell to 0. That's the first time it happened since January 2022, which was a confirmation of the bear market. And so that's also something to keep in mind for those who trade in the crypto market. So let's have a look at the Nvidia charts. Let's talk about this bearish engulfing candle. Now, there's a couple of things that I want to point out on this. In my opinion, technically, it's invalidated, because what needs to happen is after this closes, to be validated, it needs the candle to be below this candle, and that's not what happened. It opened not just above, but significantly above. This candle closed, I think, possibly around that 188, and then this candle opened here at around 195. So that's why I would technically say it's invalidated, but it doesn't mean that a lot of people may not know that, and they're seeing a lot of posts on social media. Oh no, bearish engulfing candle, you know what that means. However, I do feel technically it's invalidated. Now, that doesn't mean that if earnings are a miss or something happens, that this can't go down and create something a little bit more bearish. You know, you have a shoulder here ahead, it could come down and create a right shoulder and then capitulate to the downside. So just because this, and we do have the red arrow on the weekly. However, it has found support on the 9 EMA on the weekly there. As you see, the last 2 times there's been red arrows. It found some support. Even though it dropped below it, it came back up, retested the support, and continued up. So at the moment, I'm not overly concerned, but I think we should trade with caution and be prepared to switch and pivot from bullish to bearish or bearish back to bullish. Just like on Friday, I gave the VXX play, I gave the MicroStrategy short play. They both played out in the morning, and then the afternoon I gave 9 beautiful trades, all played out to the upside. Anybody could have taken any one of those trades in the Tribal Trades Discord on the Friday afternoon. And one of those trades, of course, was EOSE, and we'll look at that trade in a moment. So that's what I'm looking for, Nvidia. So at the moment, while there are some sounds for the bears right now, we're in an uptrend. You got to trade the trend. The trend is your friend until the end, and then you start a new trend. And of course, we have seen this come down, bounce off the 50-day moving average. And while we're above the 9 EMA on the day, look, every time it comes down a little bit low, it just continues to go up. But we do have that earnings coming up, and so I think it is a call for caution with the Hindenburg omen and some of those other technicals out there, that there could be some danger ahead. So while I am saying for the bearish engulfing candle on the weekly, I do believe that's been invalidated. Some people might say, well, no, they don't think so. That's still possibly in play. Look, I think this needed to close below, and I'll actually show you where we see this an actual bearish engulfing candle playing out. You can see it here for Ethereum. So what you see there is a bearish engulfing candle on the weekly. The next candle, look what happens. That's now validates this candle here. And then, of course, what happens? Capitulation to the downside there, warning signals. And I did give that warning signal to everybody that there was a bearish engulfing candle for Ethereum. There was a bearish engulfing candle for the entire altcoin market. And look what has happened since then. There, and the Tribal Trades technicals have once again come in, and as you can see, there's that bearish engulfing candle, and then look at the next candle. Down we go rather than opens and pushes up. So that's what you really want to look for, and then it capitulates to the downside. So the bearish engulfing candle. Let's look at the SPY really quickly. We see what happens, this beautiful recovery. We didn't spend long. We're not spending long below the 20 EMA on the daily. It's just ended up being good buy the dip opportunities. But of course, if we do see Nvidia roll over or not have good earnings and sell off, then I think this run for the SPY could be paused, and we could see a deeper pullback. That doesn't mean that I don't think we can still make that $720 level from the inverse head and shoulders pattern that I showed on the weekly time frame. But I will say it's over from an extent that once the 9 crossed above the 20, this dark pink line or the light pink line here, way back in April, the 9 has not crossed back below, but it's getting close. And I think any kind of sustained bearishness of 5 or 6 or 7 days where we close below the 9 or the 20 EMA on the daily will cause that to curl over. And I do think we'll have a deeper, more significant pullback in the SPY. I'm not saying that the run will be over and we'll go into a bear market. I mean, of course, you never know. And the Hindenburg omen has been fairly accurate there. That's just something to keep in mind and be ready to pivot to the shorts. And you can learn how to short trade in the Tribal Trades Discord, both crypto and stocks. Learn how to make money on the way down. You just don't have to make money on the way up there, of course, as well. We look at Bitcoin very quickly. We're still, this head and shoulders pattern is still in play. The bear flag here was invalidated. That's okay, but it's not, that's okay that it was invalidated because it's still bearish because this is still in play. Look what happens. We came up, tested this neckline. I hand drew this neckline, okay? The Tribal Trades trend line, one line to rule them all, and look how exact and spot on I drew these technicals there. It rejected, it's rejected again, and so to invalidate this head and shoulders, we must break over this trend line. This is currently at $106,000. That must be broken. We've got to see a close above this. Ideally, I'd like to see us above the 20 EMA on the daily there at about 106,900 there, so about 107,000. But yeah, that would then invalidate this here for the time being anyway. For the time being on that for Bitcoin, and just remember the Zcash indicator has always marked the top of the run This has always happened. Okay, I want to show you. Actually, we go to the monthly chart there. Every time there has been a major top, there's the top of the last bound. Down it goes. Does nothing. Does absolutely nothing for 4 years. Then pumps and then crashes. Does nothing. Pumps and then crashes. So you can see this is called the Zcash indicator. And at the moment, you can see there's this is quite bearish. This is an M formation. The technical target to the downside is around 230 odd dollars. And you can see, well, if I flip it the other way up, look, you can say, oh, that's bullish. That's a W formation there with a technical target to around 230. So you can see the neckline for that is 488, and we've absolutely capitulated below that at the moment. Let me flip that back right side up there, and you can see we're forming a bear flag on the 4-hour time frame. I actually gave this trade in the Tribal Trades Discord when it was at 490 this morning. So those who took the trade are already cashing in there on that trade. Absolutely fantastic. And look at the EOS trade that I gave yesterday morning. There was a few places to get in this trade. I actually had two positions open on here. I had a scalp position. I took profit there, and then I have a longer term position. Remember, I gave the EOS E-Trade in the Tribal Trades Discord originally at $9, so it's gone up 100%. And of course, you can't just buy when there's dips. I gave the trade in the Tribal Trades Discord down here at around $15 on Friday. I gave it again at $18.51 there because of this beautiful bull flag and push to the upside. Now we have technical targets to the upside here for EOS. Now whether or not we get to those technical targets or not is highly going to be dependent, I think, on Nvidia earnings and the stock market as a whole, and obviously with the government reopening. But again, swing plays are undefeated. Entry on a break, hold $18.51. It gave you a perfect entry there. And you can see on Friday, if you'd been in the Tribal Trades Discord, gave a beautiful entry here at $15.31, or at $15.12. Could have got an even level, and the target was 17. Hit that target. Then I gave a new one there as well. And that's what we're about in the Tribal Trades Discord. The 1K per day challenge is in full swing. I love seeing people get in there and start to show. We have a great post here just from yesterday. If I can find it here, let's find it. Oh, I love this here. Somebody's first day in the Discord, up over a EOSC. First day, absolutely. Probably paid at least for the Discord for the month, maybe for the year. Not sure how much. Small size. They're probably just trying out my trades, and that's what I recommend. Come in and look just to make $50 a day or $100 a day. $100 a day over 20 or 30 days of trading. If you trade stocks and crypto, that's $3,000 a month. You do that consistently there, and you've made some good money. I love Rodrigo here. He's experimenting with my trades. I love this. Using $3,000, he made $172. If you do that over a 20-day period, like if you're just trading stocks and you're making $172 a day, that's $3,500 per month, because the tribal trade system has worked and has worked for me. I share the system. You get that all part of being a member of the Tribal Trades Discord. And how do you become a member of the Tribal Trades Discord? Currently, there is a wait list, and you can get on that wait list. There's a link below in the description of this video. You might need to click the more button. That'll pop out. Click on that. You can get on the wait list. Now, the reason to get on the wait list is because when we open the Tribal Trades Discord this month, it'll be at a higher price. So getting on the wait list now locks you in at the current price that you see on the wait list, and you won't pay the higher price. In fact, you'd be grandfathered in to that VIP gold all access rate until January of 2028. Okay, that's what I'm doing here for those people that get on the wait list there. And you will be asked for your payment details. That's just to reserve your place in the wait list. You won't be charged a single penny until you get moved from the wait list into the Tribal Trades Discord, which will happen for you this month before the Discord reopens. And so that's important for you to know that. Some people go, oh, I'm being asked, but I'm just going on the wait list. Why do you need my payment details? Reserve your place. And that's another reason why to get on the wait list earlier is to reserve your place. You'll be a lot higher up the wait list and you'll get access a whole lot sooner if you get on the wait list today rather than later. Okay. And of course, you don't want to lose. And that price, by the way, you don't want to lose that price. That's never to be repeated again. Once we open at that higher price, and it'll be significantly higher, by the way, once we open at that higher price, that will never be repeated again. So this is your last chance to get grandfathered, all access, Discord, VIP Gold, getting on the wait list. All the details on the link in the description there. And of course, there's no lock-in whatsoever. It's just month to month. So if it doesn't work out for you or you don't have time, we wish you all the best. But I just know when you come into the Tribal Trades, I call it the Tribal Trades family, and you see the wealth transformational journey that we are on and the life-changing gains that people are discovering there. And of course, the love and support within the trading community, I know you're just not gonna want to leave. All right, well, that's all we have time for today. So until the next episode, or until I see you on the Discord, happy trading.